Alright, so we are going to go ahead and find this assignment, finding area of parallelograms. This was our homework assignment that was given out for the night of 9-9. Parents, in case you were not aware, I do give out the homework early enough that students can start on it in class, and sometimes students do finish in class. That is something that I allow, especially because later in the year, assignments get harder, they get longer, and I want students to have that opportunity to reduce their workload each night. So, for finding area of parallelograms, there are a few things to keep in mind. Number one, what is area? Area is the space that fits within a shape. So, in case you were absent and did not get these notes, area is the space inside of a flat shape. Okay? So any flat shape, the space inside of it, that would be area. So when I find area of this rectangle, I'm finding out how much space there is inside this rectangle. All right? There's a note about this. There is a special formula, something we use to find area of these shapes. So for area of all types of parallelograms, is going to be the same. And that is going to be the area equals the base times the height. Okay? Now, you won't ever see math people write this. We will shorten it. We will write A equals BH. A means area, B means height, or B means base, and H means height. All right, this is how we write our formulas. Area equals base times height. Now, we're going to put this into practice by looking at some of these problems from our homework. All right, so one other note we should include is something about this, because this is a diagonal line. And something you need to know is that you are never, ever supposed to use diagonals. So never use diagonals, ever. Okay? So when we look at number one, first of all, a couple things should jump out. First of all, in number one, we see two lines that are diagonal. That's not good. This line right here and this line right here, they're tilted. That means those two numbers will not be used. Now we need to figure out what the base is going to be. Well, it looks like the base, or the number that's going side to side, we could use 3.6. And the height, the number going straight up and straight down, would be 7.6. This is a calculator active section. After all, it says it right up here. So we'll go ahead and try that out. 3.6 times 7.6. 27.36. So when I write my answer, 27.36, I have to include what I was measuring. And right here it says YD. That stands for yards. So we have yards, and since we found area, we need to put a little 2 in the corner. And that tells people that we found area. That's what that means. Let's go ahead and look at a rectangle, another type of parallelogram. For a rectangle, our base is going to be going side to side, so it looks like we could use maybe this line, or 6.7, and our height is a line that goes straight up and down, like this one, and that would be 3 yards. But we have 6.7 yards again. Well, it looks like we only need one base and one height. So we don't need another one. We can cross that out. We should only be multiplying two numbers whenever we find area of a parallelogram. Only two numbers are needed. Don't ever use 3. Let's go ahead and multiply those and see what we get. 3 times 6.7. And I got 20.1. So 20.1 looks like it's yards again. and a little 2. All right, let's go ahead and do just a couple of more. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's try number 3. So number 3, another parallelogram, kind of like this. Only this one, our diagonal line is over here. Again, we cannot use a line that is diagonal. We can only use lines that are going side to side, like this one, or up and down, like this one. And remember, I showed you in class, a lot of times you can't measure a parallelogram unless you have a dotted imaginary line. Sometimes that line is on the inside, sometimes it's on the outside. Okay? So, for number 3, it's going to be 7.9 times 5.3. So 41.87. And these are going to be centimeters, and they are squared, so little 2. I'm going to skip at number 4 and move on to number 5, but number 4, we can look and see we don't need 2 bases. We only need 1. So the 12 is extra, and this line is diagonal, so we cannot use that. Okay? Moving on to number 5. Number 5, it almost doesn't look like we have a base because there's no line down here. But remember what I've been saying, the base is just the line that goes side to side, which is what this line is doing. So we can use our 6 as our base, and for the line going up and down, we can still use one of these, just one of the 9s. We do not need 2 heights, only 1. So 6 times 9, don't even need a calculator for that, but it is 54 meters squared. So if you were out of class, if you were absent maybe this day or earlier this week, this is more or less what we have been doing all this week. We have been covering what area is, and we have been practicing finding area of all parallelograms. And today, we started dealing with this style parallelogram. So if you have been absent this week, essentially any day after Labor Day, which would be the 7th or the 8th, then this is what you have been missing. You can go ahead and copy this down, and copy these little 3 notes off the side down. And of course, this video is not going anywhere, so you can watch this as many times as you need to, and you can even use it, those of you who have not been absent, you can use this to help you check your homework and make sure that you are doing it correctly. So, good luck!